Submissions are one of the most thrilling aspects of mixed martial arts. They showcase the technical and tactical abilities of the fighters, as well as their ability to adapt and overcome adversity, ending a fight in an instant, leaving no doubt about who the winner is. In 2023, we saw some of the most spectacular and surprising submissions in UFC history. Some of them have changed the course of divisions, while others have made history and headlines. We will rank the top 5 submissions in the UFC and MMA for 2023 so far, based on their difficulty, rarity, impact, and entertainment value. We'll also explain what makes each submission so remarkable and memorable. So, wasting no time, let's get started with the most shocking match of 2023. Number 5. Erin Blanchfield vs Jessica Andrade. How did a young flyweight contender shock the world with a stunning submission over a former champion? That's the question many fans were asking after Erin Blanchfield's impressive performance at the UFC Apex earlier this year. Blanchfield, who is only 24 years old, came into the fight with a perfect UFC record of 4-0, which earned her a spot in the flyweight top 15. She was facing Jessica Andrade, a former strawweight champion and flyweight title challenger, who had more than twice as many fights as her. Many expected Andrade to use her power and experience to overwhelm Blanchfield, but the New Jersey native had other plans. She showed great composure and skill throughout the fight, landing crisp strikes and defending well against Andrade's takedowns. In the third round, Blanchfield saw an opening and took Andrade's back. She quickly locked in a rear naked choke and squeezed until Andrade tapped out. It was a stunning upset that catapulted Blanchfield into the divisional top 5 and put her on the radar of many fans and pundits. Blanchfield's submission win over Andrade was not only one of the best submissions of the year, but also one of the biggest upsets. She proved that she is a serious threat to anyone in the flyweight division. Blanchfield is now set to face another former title challenger, Taila Santos, at UFC Singapore later this year. A win over Santos could earn her a shot at the flyweight belt in 2024. Will Blanchfield continue her rise to the top and become the youngest flyweight champion in UFC history? Only time will tell. But what makes Blanchfield's submission so remarkable? According to statistics, the rear naked choke is the most common and successful form of submission in UFC history, accounting for 50% of all submissions. However, it is not easy to apply it against a seasoned grappler like Andrade, who has only been submitted twice in her 33-fight career. Blanchfield was able to execute the choke with precision and speed, catching Andrade off guard and leaving her no choice but to tap. She also showed great awareness and control, preventing Andrade from escaping or reversing the position. It was a masterful display of grappling from Blanchfield, who has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 4. Shavkat Rakhmonov vs Geoff Neal. The next collision is between Shavkat Rakhmonov vs Geoff Neal. What happens when two of the most dangerous welterweights in the world collide in a thrilling back-and-forth battle? You get one of the most exciting fights and submissions of 2023. Shavkat Rakhmonov and Geoff Neal met at UFC 285 in March, in a fight that many expected to end by knockout. Both fighters had proven their striking prowess and finishing ability in their previous bouts, and neither one seemed interested in taking the fight to the ground. However, as the fight progressed, it became clear that both fighters were also skilled grapplers who could hold their own on the mat. Rakhmonov and Neal exchanged hard punches and kicks on the feet, but also engaged in several scrambles and submission attempts on the ground. The fight was close and competitive going into the final round, with both fighters having their moments of success. It seemed like either fighter could win by knockout or decision, but Rakhmonov had other plans. With less than a minute left in the fight, he caught Neal in a rear naked choke that came out of nowhere and forced him to tap out. It was a sensational finish that capped off an amazing fight. Rakhmonov improved his record to 17-0 with his 17th career finish, making him one of the most intriguing contenders in the welterweight division. He also became the first fighter to submit Neal in his professional career. Rakhmonov's submission over Neal was not only one of the best submissions of 2023, but also one of the best fights. He showed tremendous heart, skill, and versatility in his performance, and proved that he can hang with the elite of the division. Rakhmonov is now rumored to face another top-ranked welterweight in Gilbert Burns at UFC 295 later this year, potentially. A win over Burns could possibly earn him a shot at the welterweight belt in 2024. Will Rakhmonov continue his unbeaten streak and become the first Kazakh champion in UFC history? In the enchanting rhythm of time's waltz, mysteries gracefully unfurl their secrets. Number 3. Davy Grant vs. Rafael Assunção. Moving on to Davy Grant vs. Rafael Assunção. How did a journeyman bantamweight pull off one of the rarest submissions in UFC history against a veteran contender? That's the question many fans were asking after Davy Grant's incredible comeback victory over Rafael Assunção at a UFC Fight Night on March 11th earlier this year. Grant, who is 36 years old, has had a turbulent UFC career plagued by injuries and close losses. He's only fought 10 times in the promotion since winning the Ultimate Fighter 18 in 2013, and he's never cracked the bantamweight top 15. He was facing Rafael Assunção, a former title challenger who's fought the likes of TJ Dillashaw, Marlon Moraes, and Cody Garbrandt. Many expected Assunção to use his experience and skills to outclass Grant, but the Englishman had other plans. He showed great heart and resilience throughout the fight, trading strikes and takedowns with Assunção. In the third round, Grant found himself in trouble after grabbing the fence to prevent a takedown, resulting in a point deduction. He knew he had to go for broke in the final minutes of the fight, and he did just that. Assunção attempted another takedown in the final 20 seconds of the bout, lifting Grant up in the air. As he did so, Grant wrapped his legs around Assunção's neck and locked in an extremely rare inverted triangle choke from the bottom position. The referee had to stop the fight with just 17 seconds left as Grant's innovative and spontaneous choke put Assunção to sleep. The Brazilian veteran retired after the bout, ending his 12-year run in the UFC. Grant's submission over Assunção was not only one of the best submissions of the year, but also one of the most surprising. He proved that he still has what it takes to compete at a high level and earned his first performance bonus in the UFC. Grant was able to pull it off against Assunção, who is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and has only been submitted once before in his 37-fight career. He also did it from a disadvantageous position, while being slammed to the ground by Assunção. It was a masterful display of creativity and opportunism from Grant, who has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Number 2. Jon Jones vs. Ciryl Gane. Jones, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, vacated his light heavyweight belt in 2020 after defending it 11 times. He decided to move up to heavyweight, where he hoped to face new challenges and cement his legacy. He was matched up against Ciryl Gane, a former kickboxer who had won the interim heavyweight title by defeating Derek Lewis in August 2021. Gane was undefeated in MMA up until that point, with 10 wins and 7 finishes until he faced the then UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou and lost. He then had a comeback fight against Tai Tuivasa in UFC Paris before his fight against Jones. Many expected Gane to pose problems for Jones with his striking skills and athleticism, but Jones had other plans. He showed no signs of ring rust or size disadvantage as he ran through Gane with ease, recording his first finish in over 5 years. Just over 2 minutes into his fight with Gane, Jones knocked in a nasty guillotine choke, forcing the Frenchman to tap out. It was a stunning display of grappling from Jones, who had not submitted anyone since 2012. Now a 2-division champion, Jones's legacy is cemented, and he'll always be remembered as one of, if not the greatest fighter of all time. He also became only the 5th fighter in UFC history to win 2 titles in 2 weight classes, joining Randy Couture, Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, Henry Cejudo, Georges St. Pierre, and Amanda Nunes. Jones is now set to face the possible heavyweight GOAT, Stipe Miocic, which is scheduled for UFC 295 later this year. A win over him could make him the undisputed greatest heavyweight and the greatest of all time. Number 1. Alexa Grasso vs. Valentina Shevchenko. Grasso, who's only 29 years old, had an impressive UFC record of 15-3, with 4 wins by knockout and 1 by submission. She had won 5 fights in a row, including a decision over former title challenger Viviane Araujo, and a submission win over Joanne Wood. She was facing Valentina Shevchenko, who had ruled the flyweight division with an iron fist since 2018. Shevchenko had defended her belt 7 times, finishing 5 of her challengers by knockout or submission. She was widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and a huge favorite over Grasso. Shevchenko was performing well against Grasso over the first 3 rounds of their title bout, but she wasn't cruising as she normally does. Grasso's boxing was causing problems for Shevchenko, who was forced to attack takedowns and accumulate ground control time to bank the rounds. In the 4th round, as Shevchenko attempted a spinning kick, Grasso closed the distance and pounced on the champion's back. The Mexican challenger then sank both hooks in before latching a tight face crank, forcing the tap out as her face turned blood red, making for the most shocking moment of 2023 so far. Graso's submission win over Shevchenko was not only one of the best submissions of the year, but also one of the biggest upsets. She proved that she's a worthy champion and a force to be reckoned with in the flyweight division. Grasso is now set to face Shevchenko in a rematch later this year. Grasso was able to pull it off against Shevchenko, who's a black belt in judo and taekwondo and has never been properly finished before in her 26-fight career. She also did it from a dominant position while controlling Shevchenko's body and head with her legs and arms. It was a masterful display of aggression and determination from Grasso, who has a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The year 2023 has been an exciting one for MMA fans, especially for those who love submissions. We have witnessed some of the most amazing and unexpected finishes in UFC history. From rare chokes to slick transitions, these submissions have showcased the skill, creativity, and heart of some of the best fighters in the world. They've also provided us with thrilling moments of drama and suspense, as well as satisfying outcomes for the winners. We can only hope that the rest of 2023 will bring us more submissions like these, as we continue to enjoy the beauty and artistry of MMA. So what do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more MMA content. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.